Welcome back to another industry report. And this video will explain how the video game industry is changing its strategy towards games as a service and why this has big consequences for the AAA sector as we know it and why there's a small backlash towards it. So if you want to understand this concept from both sides, strap yourself in. This will be a ride. So let's get started right away. What is a game as a service? It simply means video games need to rely on a continuing revenue model, which you already see in the regular software business. The model therefore is very simple indeed. You produce a video game and then sell it for a fixed price. To be neutral here, I try to give you very briefly both sides. First the developer, publisher side and then the consumer side. Producing a video game was and is still a long-term investment. As a developer, you have to spend years making a video game in hopes of return on investment after release. Then a short maintenance phase for patches would occur, and if it was successful, a DLC would come shortly after the main release. And therefore you have developers and publishers. One produces the game and the other one tries it to market to you, the consumer. A game flopping could mean that the developer could go out of business, but on the other hand, large profits could come too. Publishers are now trying to change this paradigm. Now games are never complete and get additional content over the years. This content is called live services and it is the justification for further monetization practices you see in games like basically every EA game, Overwatch or Fortnite. This extra cash a publisher wants you to pay as a subscription fee and or through microtransactions, loot boxes and cosmetics. Does it work? Well, 2018 all those major players like EA, Activision Blizzard and others have set record incomes. Just to give you a number, EA's net worth was 2012 around $4 billion. And now it is in September 2019 27 billions. And to put it into perspective, 2018 they were around 40 billions. What can the developer side take from this? Well, the gold rush of 2018 is clearly over, but the changes are here to stay. Let's look now from the side of the consumer. First, the positive side. Through that extra cash, games' longevity can theoretically expand into infinity. That means you can play your game forever and it will always be patched and improved and so on, which is definitely a plus. The developer can simply abandon the game and delivers constant patches to improve the game. The money made by fees and microtransactions is being used to expand the developer's resources and he can give you more of what you love, and that is the game. Now you can almost expect every year a new Call of Duty, FIFA or Assassin's Creed. The constant cash flow can keep beloved developers alive. There's less risk involved. And now the negative side, and there are more vocal and numerous points. The money is inflating the value of the publishers and everything is being tied to investors now and not the consumers. So decisions are being made to satisfy investors instead of the people who actually support those projects, which are you. What does an investor want? More money, of course. Will there be more content for the game or more systems to milk the player base? Take your pick. Lazy cash grabs. There is a reason why Fallout 76 exists. Bethesda's decision to make this game comes from a very simple fact. Fallout and Skyrim are being one of the most played, modded and beloved games. They can't easily tap in there with some monetization in those finished products. Developers can ship half-baked products because games are now live services, things that are constantly worked on. Games can be published and fixed at some point later. Glaring examples are Anthem and Fallout 76 again. Exploitation of people with addictive behaviors and frustrating the consumer to buy additional content. Every gamer that has played a live services game has seen some ridiculous ways how developers have built systems in their games to annoy the player to buy more. Full game prices are meaningless. In the past, you bought your game and that was it. You were sure that you could get the full experience after you paid full price of $60. Now there are season passes, boosters, packs, microtransactions, loot boxes, and, to put the cherry on top, loot boxes are called now surprise mechanics. Gutting the game for the future. Examples are numerous. Remember when unlockables, extra levels and Easter eggs were part of the full game? Now it is being stripped to the core to be spoon-fed in the game's life cycle. If the game flops, all the future content that is mostly finished will never see the light of day. They change the gaming culture as we speak. At some point, loot boxes and microtransactions will look and feel like casinos. And the worst part is, nobody will bat an eye. There has always been commercial breaks in your video games, right? Rehashes, reskins. Is there a huge difference between FIFA 2015 and the newest version? Is the clone of the clone a super clone? A singularity formed with a phone market. A singularity formed with a phone market. Have you ever wanted to see a merging between the flashy phone market and the traditional video game market? The industry is trying to mold the next generation of gamers with the casual phone game users. Short, flashy and meaningless in the long run. Not convinced? Check out this year's BlizzCon announcement of Diablo Immortal. The core audience is stationary PC or console gamers. A trend I personally feel very uneasy towards. That was a lot. Is it all doom and gloom? Well, that depends which side you are on. The loser of this change is sadly the consumer side, but he or she can vote with the wallet. Have a good one. One up indie.